first meeting with us. We are roomies. Wow, so crazy.
It's called Bob, and that's all I know. That's so funny. Oh, like if you're gonna live anywhere, live in a place called Bob. I totally agree. We might have to move that. Right? This is so cool. Dude, where should we sit? Because like I wasn't here during Wait, I think I've seen that.
Stanford University. As is our tradition at all university ceremonies, we pause now to acknowledge the land on which we stand and the peoples who steward it. I invite you to rise as you are able and remain standing through the land acknowledgement and the invocation to follow. Will you please rise as you're able? And now I am honored to introduce Micah Sosi, class of 2025, a member of the Dene Navajo Nation.
Yad she Micah Sosi nisha nashashnishli to hanabashichin to tachini dashiche nanish ejidashinella akut ego dene hasti nishli. Good evening, everyone. My name is Micah Sosi, and I am a proud member of the Navajo Nation. I am honored to deliver the land acknowledgement for this year's convocation. We recognize that Stanford sits on the ancestral land of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe. This land was and continues to be of great importance to the Ohlone people. Consistent with our values of community and inclusion, we have a responsibility to acknowledge, honor, and make visible the university's commitment to Native peoples. Thank you. Ahiya.
Charge of the weather. Welcome to Stanford! New transfers, welcome to the 51 colleges and universities, and 30 of those are from community colleges. Yeah! You speak 76 unique languages other than English in your homes. 66% of the domestic first-year class attended public schools and the remainder private, parochial, and home schools. 14% of you are international students. The incoming first-year and transfer students are distributed with wonderful balance across 78 academic areas of interest available to you as students in our 3 undergraduate schools. You also have an open door to explore and define your true intellectual passion. 21% assembled here are the first in their families to attend a 4-year university.
And what sort of lives you might aspire to lead. At the end of the lecture, there were questions from the audience. One of the students stood up and they said, "Professor Lear, how do I live a good life?" And I remember that moment vividly. First, it was a very hard question. And second, because for an instant, there was an extraordinary transference. It was as if we were in the room with Socrates and not with Professor Lear. But of course, that question was also the point of the lecture. Although you will be plenty busy in the coming weeks making friends and figuring out your classes and activities and trying to remember where Flomo and Robley are located, in West Log, part of what we eventually want you to do at Stanford is to engage with big questions. How do I prepare to live a good life? What does it mean to be a citizen in society or in a democracy? These questions are asked in every culture and at every time. Indeed, you will be asked to tackle them as part of the college curriculum this year. And wrestling with them is part of what we mean when we say that Stanford will offer you not just skills and a degree, but a true liberal education. So my hope for you at Stanford is that you will learn new subjects and skills, whether it's international relations or creative writing or molecular biology, that you will meet people who become lifelong friends, that you fall in love with this beautiful campus, that you find a career path, and most of all, that you leave with many questions and a greater comfort in not knowing all the answers. Now, I've shared my aspirations for you, and I'd like to share 3 pieces of advice. First, take a moment to look at the 1,700 students gathered around you. Multiply that by 4. Add the coterms, the graduate students, the faculty. At Stanford, you will be surrounded by people from every part of the world, from all different backgrounds, with a vast array of interests and aspirations. One of our collective challenges is to create an environment where each of us, with so many different passions and views, can thrive. If you've been following college campuses for the last year, you will know that that is not a given. Now, I'm very fond of the television coach Ted Lasso. And if you are also a fan of Ted Lasso, you will remember that his maxim is, be curious, not judgmental. Stanford is a place to be curious, not judgmental, about each other, about ideas, about different perspectives. That means keeping an open mind, getting into conversations, being inquisitive about the people around you. And I hope that if you remember just one thing from this talk, you'll remember that, because it's really at the heart of having a strong community at Stanford. Okay, second, here at Stanford, you can pick virtually any field of knowledge, and there will be someone on this campus who's at its frontier. You can take classes on the ecology of kelp forests, on Greek mythology, on the social and economic impacts of AI, and hundreds of other topics. You can join more than 650 student clubs, and that's not even counting the sports teams. When I think back to my own freshman dorm, there were students who joined singing groups, who ran for student government.
Oh.